guys, welcome to your flow with Sophie. Sarah, I'm very sorry I couldn't be with you today, so hopefully you can enjoy my 45-minute flow and hopefully feel less hungover. So we're going to start with either you're sat on your feet like I am here, or you can sit cross-legged. We're just going to have a few minutes to start with. So if you can close down your eyes. And we're going to take some breaths in and out. So we're going to breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now if you can continue breathing in and out for the next couple of minutes. I just wanted to caveat this video by saying I am not a yoga teacher, so sorry if I mess up along the way. And also the fact that I had wanted to use the original audio in the background because the birds sounded really nice. But unfortunately I was snotting a bit too much and it was disgusting. So I've now put some artificial bird noises in the background and I am doing a nice calming audio for you both. For you all, not for you both. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the flow. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Okay, if we can take one more breath in and a clearing breath out, and then slowly make your way into child's pose. Settle down into your child's pose, knees nice and wide, bum to the heels. Feel free to come up onto your fingertips to stretch your shoulders a bit more. And hopefully at the end of this practice, you're going to feel a lot more flexible than at the start. And if you want to move your hands over to the left-hand side, stretching out your right-hand side, pushing down with your left hip into the floor. Deep breaths in and out. And a deep breath in, and we're going to move through to the centre and back over to the right hand side. Again, you want your left hip down into the floor, stretching to your left hand side. Last 3 breaths here. And now you can start making your way onto your hands and knees. And we're going to go through a couple of cat-cows. do, sorry about the nose itching. Deep breath in. Looking up, bum sticking out. And release the breath and look through your legs, through to the other side. So you're going to keep going through your cat and cows for a couple of minutes here. Please feel free to add in any movements you'd like, so swaying left side to side, holding in those positions wherever feels tight. Move your neck around, sit back into child's pose. You've got a couple of minutes here where I will leave you to move around. And we're now going to move into downward dog. Tuck your toes under, push your bum up into the air. And we're just going to stay here for a few breaths. Pedal through the feet, left and right, stretching out your hamstrings. And we're going to step or jump forwards. Not sure what that is. I look like a granny there. And breathe in, hands to shins, and forward fold. Breathe in, hands up to the sky, slight back bend, and hands down to your center and down to your sides. Just staying in mountain pose for a breath. And then we're going to flow. Taking a few breaths here before we go. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And lift your hands up to the ceiling. Slight back bend and forward fold over. Hands to the floor or your shins. Breath in and breath out. Legs back into your plank. Hold this here for a second. Breathing in and breathing out. Then we're going to shuffle forwards and lie all the way down onto the mat. Coming up into mini cobra. And breath out again to the mat. Breathing in, lift your head up off the floor, mini cobra. And lift those hands off the floor. And breathing down. Then push yourself back up onto your toes and into downward dog. Then jump forwards or step forwards. Breath in, hands to shins. And forward fold. Breathing in, hands to the ceiling. And hands to prayer in front of your chest. And and down to your side. And again, we're flowing up, hands to the ceiling, slight back bend and all the way down. Hands to shins, flat back, breathe in and forward fold. Plant hands down, step back into your plank again. And this time we are going to flow through a vinyasa. Shuffle forwards and upward dog. And downward dog. Couple of breaths in here. And we're going to step or jump forwards again. Flat back, hands to shins or the floor. And forward fold. Breathe in, hands to the ceiling. And hands into prayer in front of your stomach and hands down. And here we go again, hands up. Nope, we're still staying there. Now hands up to the ceiling. And we're going to float down again, hands to the floor. Breathe in, flat back. And hands down to the mat, step back into high plank. Chaturanga again, upward dog. And downward dog. Lovely. A few breaths here. Breathing in, breathing out, and jump forwards. Flat back, hands to shins. Don't mind me wiping the snot away from my face. And forward fold. And breathe in, hands to the ceiling. And hands down to your side, Tadasana. And we're flowing again, hands up to the ceiling. Forward fold all the way down. Flat back, hands onto your shins. And forward fold. Stepping back, hands down into your plank. Back into your downward dog. And we're going into warrior one. Leg into the air, right leg forwards. Spin your left leg down and facing forwards into warrior one. Hold this for a few breaths. And place your hands down. Bring your left foot down and into Chaturanga. Upward dog. And downward dog. Look towards your hands in a second. And jump towards your hands. And flat back, forward fold. Hands to the sky. Slight back bend. And hands down to your chest. And we're going to go on to the other side in a second. Okay, for some reason there's a long pause. Okay, here we go. Hands up to the sky. Slight back bend and forwards folds. Hands to your shins, flat back. Hands down. Step back into plank and into downward dog. Then we're going to be putting the left leg up in the air, straight through into warrior one on the left hand side. Bring your arms up beside your ears. Get that knee out to your left, out to the left hand side. Hips facing forwards. Standing strong here for a second. hands down beside your left foot and into chaturanga, upward dog and downward dog. Great, now after we've done this, we're going to step forwards, hands to shins, flat back, and forward fold. Hands to the sky, and now we're going to add on a little bit more, so I might mess this up a bit with the words. Hands to chest. And we're going to flow again. Hands up to the ceiling. And drop down into forward fold. Flat back, hands to shins. Place your hands down, step back into plank and up into downward dog. So we're going to do the same. We're going to lift your right leg up into the sky. Come forward into warrior one. Hips facing forwards. And then we're going to transition into side angle in a second. No, we're not. We're going into warrior two. Don't do what I'm doing and lift that right left arm up at the back. Place your right arm onto your knee and your left arm over. You can also progress into the full bind if you'd like to. Try and get that chest up, and we'll hold that for a few seconds. And then transition back into side angle, up into warrior two, and flow down into your flow. Feel free to skip this and go into your child's pose if you want at any point. Downward dog and back to the start to flow again up to the ceiling and hands down to your chest. And we flow again on the other side in a second. Hands up to the ceiling, slight back bend and forward fold. Hands to shins, flat back. Breathe in, breathe out, step back into your downward, nope, staying in a plank, into your downward dog. And when we're ready, we're going to lift the left leg into the air. Step forwards, warrior one, right foot down. Hips forward, left knee out to the left. And we're going to transition in a second to warrior two on the left hand side. Try and get that knee or thigh parallel to the floor, arms nice and straight. And side angle, left elbow to your left knee, arm overhead. And full bind if you want to go into full bind. Nice view of my bum here. And back into side angle for a second and back to warrior two. Oh, I've got bitten by a mosquito. Can confirm, did get bitten. But it was worth it for your nice backdrop. And plant hands down and back into chaturanga, upward dog. And and downward dog. And jumping forwards again. Hands to shins, forward, hands to shins, look up, breath in, and forward fold. Hands all the way up, and hands in front of your chest. Now we're going to do one more flow on each side. Sorry if you're dying. And then we'll be done with the flows. So hands down to the mat, breath in, legs, hands to shins. Put your hands down, sit back into high plank. I'm pretty sure I'm thinking about what I'm going to be doing next, so that's why the high plank is a while. Back into downward dog. And right leg in the air into warrior one again. Hands up. Warrior two. Side angle. Hold it here for a second. Twist that body up to the left hand side. I'm shuffling back for the demo. And up into crescent lunge. From there, we're going to do an arrowhead in a second. So staying in that crescent lunge, really those hips need to be a lot more upright. And into arrowhead, lean your chest forward. Back into crescent lunge. And down into arrowhead. And back into crescent lunge. With arrowhead, ideally it should be a straight line. Not what I'm doing. That's slightly better. And we're going to tip forward into aeroplane. I've forgotten the technical word for this one. Pushing into that left foot to try and keep your leg as straight as possible. And we're going to go into half moon. Putting your right arm down, left arm up, and hovering the hand off the floor if you can. And if you're going to challenge your balance, look up to your right hand. Lifting that back leg as strong as you can, pushing against it. Oh, almost lost it. Keep going, almost done. And stepping back into warrior two. Good job. Oh, just got bitten again. Brilliant. And from warrior two, struggling a bit here, we are going to be going back into our flow any second. Hands down, stepping back with your right leg lifted, upward dog, and into your downward dog. Yeah, definitely got bitten again there. Going well so far. Well, I hope you're all staying with me. Now I'm going to step back forwards, hands to shins, lift up, and forward fold. Okay, last time, guys, on the other side. Hands up to the ceiling, hands to the chest. Itching that bite again, sorry. I think I was going to cut this bit out, but I haven't, so you can just enjoy that slight break there until we are ready for the other side. And alright, any moment now, we're going to lift our arms up, slight back bend, and down to the floor. Hands to the floor or shins, breathe in, and step back into high plank. Hips up into downward dog. And we're lifting our left leg up, straight through, back into warrior one. Arms up by your ears. And flow into warrior two. Left leg parallel to the floor. And left arm, left elbow onto left knee, hand over the top. And into your crescent lunge from here. And we're going to go into arrowhead. Bring your chest forward and back into crescent lunge. And flow into arrowhead, chest forwards, and up into crescent lunge. And one more time, arrowhead, and into crescent lunge, back up we go. And into warrior three, that's what it was, wasn't it? Warrior three, aeroplane, whatever you want to call it. Kicking that right leg back as if you're kicking against a wall, keep it nice and firm. And then down into half moon. Right arm going up, left arm down on the floor or hovering off the floor. Again, looking up to that right hand if you're feeling like you want to challenge your balance. And hold it for another few seconds. And we're going to plant that back leg softly down and land into warrior two. A couple of breaths here. And float your hands back down into your high plank. And rolling over your toes onto your downward dog. Right guys, we have finished our flowing, you will be pleased to know. Hands up to the ceiling, hands to your chest and down into Tadasana. Okay, hands up to your chest, flow down, hands to the floor, step back into high plank, into downward dog. And right leg forwards into high lunge and coming back into a hamstring stretch. Back into runner's lunge, head up, stretch out those hips and back into your hamstring stretch. And back into your lunge. And into your hamstring stretch. And one more time into your lunge. And step your knee back, switch to the other side. Into your lunge, head up. And hamstring stretch on your left hand side. And back into your lunge. And hamstring stretch. And lower lunge. And hamstring stretch. From here, we're going to go into the Malasana squat and prepare for crow pose for anyone who wants to do this. Had to pop this into a cell. Please don't judge mine, it's a bit of a mess. Okay, so hands down in front of you. You want to be getting your knees right up in your armpits, which I definitely do not do, but as best as you can. Bring your weight forwards. Looking in front of you really helps. Try and get those toes to touch, and you're going to hold for 3, 2, 1, and jump back into your upward dog, and tuck your toes into your downward dog. Lovely. Back down onto your knees, and let's go for a little child's pose, a well-deserved child's pose. And coming up out of your pose, and we're going to do a tiny bit of abs. Come into your Malasana boat pose. Hold it here. Feel free to straighten your legs. And we're going to go low boat and up again. I'm going to do a few more of those. 5 and 4 and up again. And one more time. And one more, I think. Nope, joking. One more of those. And lie down on your mat. Great job. Now we're just going to do a few more stretches, kind of yin stretches to finish off. I've actually hurt my hip, so I did manage to just about do this side. If you can just copy the screen there, because I don't know how to describe how to do that, that would be fantastic. We're going to hold these for a minute each, these couple of stretches we've got left. So if you can bring that right leg over and bring your hands forward in some kind of forward fold. I'm sure yours will be much better than mine. And we're going to hold for a minute. And get ready to transition into the other side. This is the hip that's sore, so I really couldn't do that, but please feel free to do the other side. Deep breaths in and out. Okay, coming out of that pose. And I think we're going into half pigeon, but I'm not too, yeah, here we go. In your right side, Bring your shin forwards parallel if you can. Mine does not like to do that. And settle down into the pose on the right hand side. You want to focus on really pushing that hip down to try and square it off. And just make sure you're counting your breaths in and out if you're struggling with the pose. Okay, and we're going to transition into the other side in a second. When you're ready, come on up. Feel free to go back into downward dog to transition into the other side. And hold it there for another minute. Okay guys, we are near the end. We're going to come out of that stretch. And we're not sure what we're doing. Onto your hands and knees. No. Oh, no. Okay, we're going into a forward fold on the left leg, left hand side. And square your hips to your left foot, hands up, and bring them around your feet or your ankles. I am very unflexible at the moment, so whatever you can reach, bring your hand over. And stay here for a few breaths. And we're going to transition into the other side. Come on up, switch over, bring that left foot into your leg, arms up, facing the leg, and come down, holding your foot or your ankle, or bringing your left arm over the top to help with your stretch. And staying for a few breaths. So obviously I had to do this for Sarah. We're going to set up for a headstand. So for anyone that wants to do a headstand, when you lock your fingers into each other and place your forearms down, you want to try and make sure that your forearms are running parallel to each other and that your elbows aren't flaring out too much. And then you're going to lift your bum in the air, walk your feet forwards, or just do what I'm doing and hop into it, which is not great for your neck. Lifting your legs into the air for a very uneven and slightly scared looking headstand. Sarah, hopefully you are joining me with the headstand. And when you're ready, bringing those feet back down to the floor. And we'll go into a child's pose. Feel free to pause me if everyone's having a go at the headstands or you need a bit longer. Okay, and from here, we're just going to do a couple of supine twists to finish off. I don't have much room, but if you lay your arms out to a T, bring your right legs over to the side, trying to make sure that left shoulder isn't coming off the floor. Couple more deep breaths here. And let's switch over to the other side. So shuffle your hips over. Bring your knees down and place your right arm out, trying to keep that left shoulder down onto the floor whilst looking to the right hand side. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we're coming back through to the center. One last happy baby to finish off, because it wouldn't be a yoga class without the happy baby. And we're very near to the end, guys. My Shavasana is not very long at all because I was getting bit into shreds. But feel free to make your Shavasana a bit longer if you need to. Once you're done with happy baby, come into your corpse pose. Widen your feet apart, hands, palms facing up to the ceiling. And your final resting pose. Guys, I hope you enjoyed my yoga session. Have the best weekend ever. Missing you a lot, Sarah, and hope you enjoyed yoga. Lots of love. And of course, namaste, ladies. Yoga love. Bye.